Slavic languages.
Dorohi is deer, right?
Yeah.
Not the deer animal, but
Yeah,
deer.
like deer, darling type,
Yeah.
type.
But when I
darling-esque.
hear Dorohi, that come on,
Let that
Tara.
one go.
Come on,
Let
terrorist.
that one go. Let that one go. All right, fine.
Let it go. Let it go. Okay.
2, 1.
Pastor Emmanuel, how are we doing today?
Mish, come on.
Come on,
So
Doro.
good.
Come on, Dorohi. Dorohi, Dorohoi.
Expensive.
Expensive. That's for the English-speaking people
Yes.
in our Slavic languages.
Dorohi is deer, right?
Yeah.
Not the deer animal, but
Yeah,
deer.
like deer, darling type,
Yeah.
type.
But when I
darling-esque.
hear Dorohi, that sounds also to me as an English-speaking Slav that came to America a long time ago. It's like expensive.
I like calling
All right.
people Dorohoi.
Expensive,
Do you
yeah.
like it when people say
Hey,
Dorohoi to
deer,
you?
yeah, that's
Dorohi?
really nice. Respectful.
It's deer. Like expensive. It's a good word. It's a good word. It's not.
It's really nice. Yeah, I
it's not
think so.
awkward.
Yeah.
Right. It's just more like you're valuable. Valuable.
Exactly.
like
And
that.
after this, I want to invite everybody to the Flow, September 7th at
Yes.
5 p.m.
Okay.
You're going to get more of conversations just like this.
Perfect. Perfect. That was a quick plug. I like
love it.
that. I
I
like.
love
We
it.
gotta brand some things these
There
days.
you go.
Man, Pastor Emmanuel, we wanted to talk about some things with you today. There was something funny I was thinking about earlier, though, in the gym and the office gym that we've got out there.
That's right.
There's a clip on Instagram going around where they made a song and it goes, "Another white boy with a podcast." Another white boy with a podcast.
I did not see that, but that sounds really creative and catchy.
A lot of people are doing podcasts these days, but
Yeah.
I think it's a diluted market. People are probably looking at reels these days sometimes like, oh, here we go, another podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I've saw Dana White, the UFC
Right.
guy, storm off of somebody's podcast, and they set it up off a comedian's podcast. They set it up for him to do that on purpose because they're trying to hint at the fact that people are getting tired of podcasts. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But I do think we have some valuable stuff to say to people
This
today.
is going to be amazing. So if you were about to click out, make sure you stick around.
Come on. And then you plugged Overflow. Overflow is a great event that's happening September 7th in Buford, Georgia at Living Water Church.
Yeah, the Flow is for creatives and business people.
Uh-huh.
And it's designed to take the people there to the next level. Because, it gets tiring and boring if you're remaining, especially if you're a creative person, to stick around in the same level. It's like the worst thing that could happen is to stick around at the same level. And so this event is designed to take you up a notch. Some people are going to get so much, they're going to go 2, 3, 4 notches up.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be a game changer to so many.
Speaking of game changers, the person that's speaking at the event, I think it's the main speaker. Is that right, Taras? Is she the right speaker, Mama Jan? She's the main speaker, right? Main speaker, Mama
Yeah.
Jan. She's Justin Bieber's vocal coach, Usher's vocal coach, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Liam
Neeson.
Lewis Hamilton just went to Ferrari. She's
That's right.
coaching these guys.
Not just that, but remember, she coaches Jensen Franklin's Free Chapel Easter plays, right? Also Bethel Church Worship.
That's right.
They know her really well, and she's just all around a powerful influencer in the industry. And so if we want to learn more about how the industry and how creative people are operating these days, right?
Okay.
So we're not in the dark. We're just kind of like a lone, cowboy here, just trying to do things and, getting some things right, getting some things wrong, most of the time getting things wrong, right? And so this is an opportunity for us to learn. And like I said, get it up a notch.
Okay.
So that the work we're putting in is actually effective, right?
Yes.
Because nobody wants to do a lot of work and then it's not going nowhere. So
Okay.
this is the place for you. Whoever's watching, listening to this is the place for you to come. It's going to be just awesome.
Mama Jan, yeah, that's the key. That's the keynote speaker.
Mama Jan's the keynote speaker. She is going to lay some. I'm telling you, you're gonna get some new galaxies formed in your brain.
So world-class
She's
vocal
that good.
coach.
World-class vocal coach. She's been in the industry over 20 years.
Yeah.
And she's met some powerful people. She's connected. I'm telling you, it's just going to be amazing.
And as your legendary wife has said in the past, Mama Jean.
Mama Jean, Mama Jan, Mama J.
Let's get
go.
it going. Let's
Yeah.
get it going. But, you know, she's a vocal coach, Pastor Manuel. She's writing songs, producing this Overflow event on September 7th.
The flow.
What's that?
The flow.
The Flow?
The
Flow is
flow.
what it's called, yeah?
It's basically such an overflow that it's an overflow that we're just calling it the flow.
Oh, let's get
You know what
flowing.
I'm saying? It's just such an overflow that is just the flow.
Let's get in the flow.
Let's go.
Come on. That's awesome. Pastor Emmanuel, one thing that I know about you, and it's very interesting to me, I like it and I respect it, is that you, like Mama Jan, started out in your, can I call it a career? Let's call it a career. I mean, you know, I think it's.
That's pretty loud, but okay, let's go with that.
You know, because you do things in a professional way, in business, in church. I think that should be normalized. That word, you know what I mean? That's good. You know, a career is good, right?
Yeah.
But you started out with an instrument as a creative too. That was one of your instruments into your service to humanity, to your community. Now, you know, actually you and I met because of music, in a sense, overseas in Europe on a tour in Ukraine. Yeah, I was just coming out of in Ukraine. And do you mind elaborating on your experience with music as a creative and how it's shaped and maybe molded your character? How it makes you feel now, like how you view it, how you think it should be used, things like that. Do you mind elaborating on that?
Yeah, so ever since I was a young kid, music was a huge passion. And so even though we didn't have the money to purchase any kind of musical instruments, I would use, this is pretty funny, but I would use buckets however I could to create, right? And I think that's pretty neat because sometimes we have it all. And so you know, we do what we can, right? But sometimes when you don't have it and you got to get creative in the creative process, it enriches you. So I was enriched early on because, you know, our family didn't have a lot. We just came to America. And so I just did whatever I could. I bought one of those track recorders and it still had the cassette tape, right? And so here I am, I'm recording music, I'm recording vocals. You know, then I get myself like a keyboard, a Korg 01WFD. And bro, I worked like 2 years. 2 years I put all my money. I was about, you know, 16 years old, 15, 16, cutting grass. I did everything that I could because I was so passionate. This wasn't just like a inner passion, you know, that I'm just like dreaming about. I'm dreaming about it, but I'm working hard.
You felt
to
real
get
called
it done.
to
Oh
this.
man, music was the way the way my mind worked, right? So I imagined sounds, I imagined melodies. And the stuff that I was, you know, bringing forth, birthing, if you will, was really simple. You know, it was the things that I heard somewhere. I combined them, mixed them up. It would be cool if I found that tape.
Come on, that would be
in
great.
a box somewhere. That would be super cool. But it wasn't like a comet desire, right? A comet just kind of flies and, you know, disperses. But this was a lasting passion.
Come on.
And so I worked about 2 years. I got me a used keyboard that my son is actually playing today. It's like a relic. It's like an instrument from in the past. Yeah.
What?
So it's pretty cool. So let me tell you, when I get it, I get all of the creatives out there. I get all of the people who like have that artistic bone. And the problem with me was that I had the passion, I had the desire,
Yeah.
but I had no one to guide me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have people around me that would have noticed me.
Yeah.
And like, Emmanuel, let me just help you here, help you. And this is what flow is all about. You see what I'm saying? Flow is all about guiding you. And wherever you're already at, we're about pushing you up higher. You see what I'm saying?
Come on.
So you don't have to be like Emmanuel when I was like 15, 16 years old, just trying to make it. And those were beautiful moments, don't get me wrong. That was beautiful. That formed me to the person that I'm at. But here we are, 2024, Living Water Church, the Flow Creative and Business Workshop.
Yeah.
We're here to help you get to the next level.
Wow. You know, you've actually done that for me. You've helped me go to the next level in certain parts of my creative career, which I tie into anything that I do. I mean, anything that I hop into, a political project and I'm signing an NDA or something, music is somehow involved with that. You know, I'm showing it, I'm playing it, I'm singing it for people. We're actually working on an original song that, speaking of your son that's playing your keyboard that
That's
you're talking
right.
about, we're working on an original song, You Still
Call Me
You
Yours.
still call me yours.
That's right.
Come on.
That's powerful.
Yes. And I remember coming out of a time like Beverly Hills living, blah, 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 traveling the world, all this. And I'm like, I need a place where people understand music. I think that was one of my texts to you before I came to Buford, to Atlanta. I said, Pastor, I need to write songs. Like, I need to write songs, and I need to just settle somewhere, you know? And you've helped me a lot with that. And that makes me excited for this event, because your spirit is not just you're not just saying that you'll do that. You've been doing that for many people. And I've seen it through old friends.
Yeah.
People that you've supported, like Vasya, our buddy, right?
Yeah,
Vasya
yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
Come on, Vas.
I mean, I've known him for 13 years. and
Imprint band.
when he came here,
Huge.
Imprint Band. When he came here, I know he felt the support from you, and I think that's commendable and respectable.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
I see music. Music is such a powerful tool because it's as if you see life there's a different shade to life, right?
Yeah.
You see it from a different angle, and it's as there's that rhythm. It's like if you're creative, if you're creative, it's like, for me, I want to say it for me, it's like that there's a different rhythm to my life, right? So the way I see things, the way I kind of flow is different. And we were talking about David, that David, King David in the Bible, that David is this character in the Bible that is a creative, a huge creative. He is a politician. He is a warrior.
Whoa.
He's a warrior.
Whoa.
He is a lover, meaning he is a romantic,
Boom.
right? He's not this awkward guy,
Yeah.
but he's able to express his love for somebody.
Come on.
Sometimes in bad ways, right? As we read him, there's some bad things that happen. Come on, David.
Come on, David.
But the fact is that the creative angle of David is so fully expressed through every sphere of his life.
Whoa.
It makes David such a historical figure that the world today, what is it, 3,000 years later, somewhere around there,
Yes.
is still admiring this person, whether you're Hindu, Buddhist, whoever you are.
Okay.
The world is admiring King David.
Yeah.
Why? Because King David was able to express his creativity in a way that affected and influenced people all around him.
Whoa.
I mean, just read, people say Psalms, but read his lyrics. And a few of the lyrics that we read that we know is Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd.
Okay. Okay.
The overflow, the green pastures. I mean, just every time you read his lyrics, his songs, you form a picture. It so influences your life,
Yes.
your day, And all it is just being able to have the right tools, and that's what the flow is going to bring to you, to the people that are coming, is having the right tools to not only influence and affect your little circle, but generations of all cultures and all nations to come.
Can I read something for you that is in response to what you've said about David, Pastor Manuel, and see what you think about this and how maybe creatives maybe should position themselves in their careers, right?
Yeah.
Creatives are akin to gardeners of culture, planting seeds that blossom into beautiful and engaging works. Just as a flower attracts bees to foster a healthy environment, art can draw in diverse audiences and enrich cultural exchanges. This role is crucial for fostering an attractive and balanced culture. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Come on. Okay.
Look at the life of King David. He's coming in. He just had a victory over victory. So, like I said, he's a warrior.
Okay.
And he's not a C-class warrior. This guy is a AA, triple A status warrior.
Come on.
And so he's being creative in battle. And that's what I'm saying is your creativity.
Yeah.
Your creativity can be applied all over the place. That's what King David was able to be so successful. Just because you're creative, don't automatically think you won't succeed in business.
True.
Don't automatically
Interesting.
believe the what's being says. Well, creatives are creatives and business people are business people.
Okay.
Man, look at the
love
life of
this.
David. He applied all of the creative juices that he had into every sphere.
Okay.
Like if I'm fighting, I'm going to be fighting creatively.
Yes.
I'm going to slice you up creatively, right? I can see Zorro up in there, right? And so what I'm trying to say, and then think about the influence he had. Now, King David had influence. He's coming back from a battle.
Come on.
And all of the ladies in town are singing songs about David. David killed those thousands and Saul killed 10,000s, however many. So David has such influence because he does everything creatively. And then think about when he's out, Saul got jealous. And the thing is that, look, you're going to have haters. And so it's okay. Just deal with it. Just know it's going to happen. And just be okay with it.
You brought up Saul. Do you mind if I
Go ahead.
quote something about Saul and
Go ahead.
see about your response to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
According to the book of Samuel in the scriptures, right? An evil spirit from the Lord tormented King Saul, causing agitation and fear. To alleviate his distress, Saul summoned David, who was celebrated for his harp playing skills. This historical example demonstrates how artistry was not only a form of personal expression, but also a means of addressing psychological and political challenges. Do you mind elaborating on this David-Saul relationships in the context of haters, like you just said? Because I think it's some really powerful information there.
Well, I think that creative people are, their soul is very expressive, and so and very open, and so because of that, you can come into a situation where you are really gonna have haters, and in this point, because David had, David was so influential that he had people all around loving him. I mean, later in the story, you're going to read that 600 guys, roughed up guys, tough guys, are following David, right? And they're all, they're rejects, okay, yes, but they're mighty men.
Like
And
physically powerful. just beasts,
yeah.
right?
Just think about the most, you got 600 Chuck Norrises, 600, Arnold Schwarzeneggers, right? Yeah, they got issues. Yeah, they got stuff. But the fact is this man, David, is able to bring them together under one roof. And so obviously Saul is going to be a hater. Obviously, Saul, and so the Bible says that, yeah, Saul was like going nuts. He had some mental issues, but those mental issues stem from some spiritual issues.
And
there.
even though he was a hater at some point in time, he then asks him for help.
Well, yeah. No, so Saul and David were cool at one point.
Okay.
And then as David gets up, as David kind of grows in influence, right? Saul becomes just a lifelong hater, right? But let me elaborate on the point.
Please do.
Because your influence, your creativity is able to, your creative mindset, your music, your the artistic value that you bring forth is able to shift culture. And not just shift culture where, what's next on Instagram, right? What's next on Facebook, whatever is happening today. But you're able to shift the political landscape.
Whoa.
The political landscape of a nation.
Whoa.
And that's what David shows us. That's the example of David.
Whoa.
Is that you don't have to have your music hidden somewhere in a USB file, right? Or whatever they call it these days.
Yeah.
Right? In the computer file somewhere in your phone. But when you release it, when you release that song, when you release that picture, when you release whatever you are part of,
Oh, come on.
know that it's a puzzle piece. Know that it's something that's going to change the landscape.
Come on.
And so I just want to say that as you get around people who are also creative, who already traveled that path, they'll give you the tools at the flow. You're going to get the tools to get that confidence.
Yeah.
You're going to get the tools to get the ability, the know-how to be able to bring forth change, real change with your creative mindset, real change in people's life, in the culture, and even in the political sphere of a nation.
Wow. Speaking of a political sphere, without getting too deep into that, but King Saul at one point in time is in a friendship with David. He's like the king of the time, while David is serving in the kingdom somewhere. Right now, the equivalent would be a president and somebody in like a president's administration. Would that be?
Yeah, administration. Maybe he was a general as well, right?
Okay.
And so, and like I said, he was just winning. David was a winner.
Big time, huh?
And so there was a confidence behind David. And the key, if you read earlier, where did the confidence come from? There was baby steps made, right? David says, look, I've battled out the mama bear for the sheep.
Yeah.
David was a shepherd.
Yeah.
And so the baby steps was little victories that were happening. Little victories. And sometimes as creatives, we want the whole world to see us right now, right away. Hear this song, see this clip, see this reel, whatever it might be.
Ooh.
But David understood that there's steps.
Okay.
Right? He celebrated the steps. Right? And because there were steps and he understood that, he grew. And then it became not just out in the pastures, in the fields where no one saw him. Now he is out in the open, creatively expressing himself. And the whole nation is like, wow.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So don't try to rush the process. And don't quit when nobody noticed your victory.
Okay.
Keep on going, on going. And you're going to see just a huge change.
That's amazing. I feel some sensitivity from the production team. They're showing us a time limit, but I want to push it even further.
Come on, somebody.
Let's see. We'll try our best here. To rein it in, okay, guys? But this is valuable stuff. This could.
They're saying
What's that?
bring down the plane, right?
Yeah. They're saying bring down a plane. But is this valuable?
This is great.
I think
This
it's
is
valuable.
powerful.
Do you guys think it's valuable to culture? Taras, production team Taras, is it valuable to culture? What we're talking about right now? Might it save somebody from giving up their career entirely? What's that? No. We're not. I'm not cutting it out. I'm taking the file and posting it myself. I'm not cutting it out. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah.
This is a creative process here.
It's a creative process.
And let me tell you, at the flow, you're going to get so much of what's working today. Not just what worked 5 years ago, but what is actually working right now, and where we're going to be in a year or two. Right? It's going to be valuable information, so that you're not playing catch up, but you're actually preparing for what's to come. That's coming up at the Flow, September 7th at 5 p.m.
September 7th.